Hello. Today I wanted to give a brief overview of the actions that a character can do in Dragon's Down during the action phase of each round. Typically in Dragon's Down, a game is played over 30 rounds that consist of an action phase and a battle phase each round. And the action phase is where the hero character can activate and moves around. And the battle phase obviously is when summoning monsters come out on the board and try to stop you, and you can fight them. That's when combat happens. And a battle phase is also when spells are cast. So when we're talking about the action phase, we're not talking about any spells getting cast at this time. So with that in mind, I've got a warlock character here set up, ready to go explore the land of Dragon's Down. And I've got over here the map set up is exactly the same as the entering Dragon's Down scenario, which is kind of the intro scenario to how to get to getting used to how Dragon's Down the game works and plays. It's built with one terrain pack. The mountain terrain pack. So you see lots of kind of mountains in the background over here. And I've got this mountain card set up right here next to it. So with that out of the way, let's go through what I can do as the warlock during the action phase. And looking at the player board, all the actions are listed out here. So we're just going to go through those one by one, probably not in the exact order that they're listed in right here, but we are going to cover all of them in as much detail as possible without getting into combat rules and things like that, which I'd like to cover probably in a different video, or if you've watched some of my playthroughs, you've seen how combat works. So let's start with the most basic and probably the first move you'll do in Dragon's Down, which is move. And that's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to move from one clearing to another clearing, and that's what a movement is. Note here that you're going to pay one extra action to move. And each round you're going to have 4 at the beginning of the game. You could pick up treasures and things that can give you bonuses, but you'll start with 4 action points that you can spend in a round. And so movement would cost 1 if you're moving to anything but mountains or swamps. So if I'm here, for example, and I wanted to move to this forest clearing, I'll pay 1 action point right there, and I'm going to denote it by putting one of my cubes on movement. And there's also, I don't have it out here right now, there's also an adventure log where you can also record what your actions were from clearing 5 to clearing 4. At the very beginning of the game, however, especially in the entering Dragon's Down or the open realm, you're going to start off the board, and so you'll pay, let's say for example, we'll start up here, your first action will be moving onto the board. So in this case, because this red mountain clearing, I'll have to pay 2 actions to move onto the board. And that's how movement works. That is a pretty straightforward action. So when a hero moves into a unexplored tile, like we did when we moved into the high pass right here, we've paid our 2 actions to move into this clearing because it is a mountain clearing. Then because it's unexplored, meaning that there's no wilderness token on here, we will draw a wilderness token that matches from the terrain pack that matches the tile. So in here we see the mountain terrain. We pull from the mountain setup card, terrain card, and we'll flip it, and we will then, see what we've found in this tile. So in this case, I actually got very lucky. I found the Forgotten City, and then we'll resolve that immediately. So I found this tile, the Forgotten City, And if you look at this card here, if I find the Forgotten City, first to reveal the Dwarven Ruins or Forgotten City, I get a legend point and 5 fame, so I would collect those. And then I would actually, this tells me to draw an extra wilderness token from every terrain pack in play. So I'll just draw, because I have the only one terrain pack in play, I'll just draw one more token. And I found a gate. So we would put that, this says put it on clearing 4, so I put it on clearing 4. And that now, when you have multiple terrain packs in play, you can travel from gate to gate using a movement action. And then just some other items that could come into play. You could find a treasure. You could find an item, which you would just pull off the top here. Or you could find a site, in which case we would draw a site from the preformed site chit deck, and I would just pull one off the top here and resolve it, and that would mean that somewhere on this tile around clearing 6 is a treasure site, the hoard. So I could go over there and then try searching for the hoard. So that all happens as part of the movement. When I move on to a tile, I resolved a chit wilderness token and then drew a second one, the gate. Now, in many cases, you would move on to a civilization tile. In the Entering Dragons Down, these civilization tokens are face up already, but in the open realms scenario, you don't have these revealed. You know where the keep is. We know it's in clearing 3 on this tile, but you wouldn't know what who's there until you move into this tile with the keep. So a movement could also prompt, if I spend that one action to move here, then I would make note here that I spend an action to move to this clearing. Then I would, from my stack of civilization tokens, reveal what merchants were here. But because there's only one terrain pack in play, it's always going to be these 2 that go along with the mountain terrain. If you have more terrain packs, you'd make a huge pile of all the civilization tokens, so you wouldn't know exactly where these guys would show up. But movement also prompts this in an open realm game. All right. So anyway, so we'll go ahead to move to how to search. So searching, we'll see, is attempting to find a site or a hidden path. Let's say I'm here and I'm trying to discover this hidden path right here. So I'm going to have to search for that hidden path. And you see the search action has this little spyglass, and I've got these 2 spyglass die right here. So I want to find this path, so I don't have to go around all this other terrain. I can go straight from clearing 6 to clearing 5, or clearing 5 to clearing 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend an action to roll these die. And what I'm hoping for is both of these to be spyglasses. If both are blank, or one is blank and one is a spyglass, that is a failed roll, because in Dragons Down, you always take the worst result of the 2 dice rolled. So I'm going to roll these for my action, and that is a successful roll. And the way I play is I just remember that I know this. And if you're using the adventure journal, which a lot of people do and love, there's a place to mark out exactly this connection that you found that path, and so you can record that. So so let's mark that would be my search action. But let's say I didn't find that. Let's say I rolled 1 success and 1 failure. If I wanted to, in the same round, continue searching, I'd put another pink cube here to mark another action. And then I don't have to re-roll this. I can just re-roll this failed die. So let me do that. And then I have a success. If I re-roll a search die in the same round, I only have to re-roll the failures. Any successes get to stay as successes for searching. When a new round starts, if I had not been successful, let's say I kept rolling and rolling and rolling and that never turned to a spyglass, and a new round starts, I have to then start over with both die for the next round. So that benefit only lasts within the same round. That is searching for a hidden path. The other thing that you would search for is, let's say I go into a tile, we'll say right here. Let's put it over here. And I get the let's say I move in here and I pull the wilderness token that says I'm at a site. And that site is the chamber. Okay, so that actually works out because I'm already here. So I'm going to have to find the chamber. So by drawing the site token and landing on the chamber's clearing, I have not found the chamber. I am merely just in its area. And so what I'm going to do is to be able to find this chamber. Oh my gosh, I can't stack it up. Is the same search action. It works the same way mechanically, where I roll the 2 dice to start, and then I get to re-roll any failures until I have 2 successes, like that. And then, when I've rolled a successful search roll, while I'm in the same clearing as the chamber, I will be able to mark it in my adventure journal as I've discovered it. And I can also claim the reward of a, let's see where it is in this one. Find a treasure site. If I'm the first to find the chamber, I'll get a legend point and 5 fame. Even if somebody else has discovered it, I still have to discover it as well. Unless we trade information, which we'll cover a little bit later in the trade action. Okay, so that is movement, that is search. Let's go right into looting. So let's say I found this chamber and I want to start getting its treasures. So once I've successfully found a treasure site, exactly like this, I can start looting, which is very similar to searching, in that you're still rolling dice and taking the worst result you roll. In this case, you're going to roll the loot die. So we would mark this, put our pink cube here, and we will roll these die. And I've rolled I call these the grabby hands, just the hands, and a 3. Now this is the best roll you can get, because if you roll 2 of them, you get to look at the top 3 cards and pick the one you want. Otherwise, these numbers go from 1 to 5, and you have to take that card down in the stack. And the treasures get worse the further you go down. So the deep treasures, the better treasures are towards the top of the stack. So because I've rolled this and the 3, I'm going to take the 3rd treasure down. Note, I don't re-roll these dice. I just take the result that I get. So in this case, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and I would receive the 3rd treasure down, which in our Warlock's case would be this Bejeweled Shield. And for reasons that I will probably have to cover elsewhere, she cannot actually equip this shield because she does not have the required number of might cubes listed on the card. So we'll just put this in the backpack, her backpack, to sell later. So we'll do that. And for subsequent loot actions, let's say I wanted to do another one, I would put another cube there, and we would just roll again, hoping to get a good result, which is, in this case, the 5th treasure down, which is probably close to the bottom of the deck. And as you can see, yeah, it would be the bottom. There should have been 5 cards here. Anyway, it would be the bottom card here. And as you can see, as the deck runs out, it becomes harder and harder to loot these treasure sites, because as you get to 2 or 3 cards left, it's harder to roll successful loots. At the beginning, it starts off pretty easy, and you're pretty much guaranteed a treasure, but then it goes down. Okay, let's go to learning a spell. In this case, you would have to have found a spell scroll or a spell book, either from purchasing from a merchant or from a treasure site. And let's say I've done that. I had a treasure site, and I've got a card that matched a cube color that I have. So I have black magic, so I can learn black magic spells at this point. And let's say I found a spell scroll somewhere, you know, in this treasure deck are spell scrolls that can give you treasures that you don't know. You'll have to go learn them. And so as an action, I can spend an action point, to try to learn this spell that I picked up. To do that, again, it's going to be another dice roll. And it's going to be these spell learning dice. And you can see that they have spells, books on them with some little magic stars coming out, and also curse symbols, and also some just straight up blank failures. So if I wanted to do this, I would roll these dice and hope for the books. And I got one book and one failed result. And just like searching, if I continue to try learning the spell in the same round, I can spend one more action cube and only re-roll the failed die roll. So I can set that aside and then roll this dice again. Now, in this case, I got a curse, which, you know, I guess I could cover real quickly how to take a curse. You are going to randomly select on here a curse that I'll get. That I won't really go into what the effects are of the curse, but I can just go quickly run through a curse. So I'm going to be looking at the odd side of the curse die because I rolled a 1. And I rolled a 3. So my curse now until I get it removed, which actually I could go over in a trade action. Only 1 cube color on spells. So I will mark that I have that curse. And now I can only use, when I cast a spell, I can't use any different type of color. So I'd have to cast all black on a spell. Anyway, let's go back to this. Let's say I've got that. I rolled my curse. I took my curse. And I wanted to pay one more action to re-roll this failed result. I would do this and hopefully, and then I could maybe use my last action to try one more time. And I failed. Okay. But I think you get the idea. If I try again on the next round, it would reset. On my first action, I would have to re-roll both die and take the results. That's another curse and a success. So again, I would take another curse and I'd re-roll this dice until I finally learn this spell. And when I learn a spell, flip this back over again, that gives you a point in 5 fame. I highly recommend when we get to the trade action, you'll see why learning spells closer to a civilization, as you can pay to get spell curses removed there. So okay, so we've done these 4 actions: some movement, searching, looting, learning a spell. We could do now rest. I think is pretty self-explanatory as well. That is just when you if you've gotten to a fight and had to wound some cubes, you can spend action points to move these from the wounded box down here back to your healthy cube box. So in this case, I've got 2 wounded cubes here. And if you look at the little chart here, short heal, 2 cubes for 3 actions. So I would spend then 3 of my 4 action points to heal up those 2 cubes. Okay. And if I wanted to heal up, if I had 3, it's basically the number of cubes you want healed plus 1 action point. So if I needed to heal 3 cubes, I would have to use all 4 of my action points. Now you don't have to heal everything up all at once. I could just, if I had 3 down here and I only wanted to heal up 1 or 2, you know, let's say I just wanted to heal up 1 cube, I could pay 2 or spend 2 action points to heal 1 of these 3 cubes and maybe heal up the rest later. Okay, I'm going to come back to trade, and let's just cover enchant real quick. For 3 actions, enchant a tile and flip the tile to the other side. Okay, let's go over what that means. And I think it works well because I'm a warlock. I have magic, and I think we need to point out that only magic users or people that have magic cubes, characters that have magic cubes, can do the enchant action. And what that means is when you enchant, you're going to pay 3 action points to enchant a tile that you are on. So let's say I wanted to enchant this tile, and so I do this enchant action. What that means is I'm going to move everything off the board. I'm flipping this tile over, and it flips across this axis, so it cuts through the words like this vertically. And the pathways change a little bit. You can see that these secret passages are now, well, this one's turned into a regular passage, and now there's this long passageway across 1 and 5. So the passageways do change a little bit. I, in the chamber, are still out on clearing 1, and this token we'll put back here. But I also get, so not only do I flip the tile, though, I also cause this tile to be imbued with black magic. I can decide. It's the caster's choice, whoever did the enchantment. I only have black magic, so I can only use black magic. But if I had a few different colors of magic in my in my boxes, I can choose which type to put out on the board. But I've now put out black magic, which and the reason I do that is because I can then use that magic to power some of my spells during combat phase, during the battle phase, which we'll cover at a different time. Or you can see it in some of my playthroughs where I do that. Okay, so that is the enchant action, which you can use to change some of the passageways around and also power up a tile with type of magic that you prefer. Explore, we're not going to cover here. That is a special action for the Explore the Realm game. We're using an open realm game where the map is already out here, but Explore lets you, if you're building the map out 1 tile at a time, go out and add another tile to your map. So let's go over then the trade action, and that's going to happen here. I've just got me, so there is a way to trade player to player, and I can just talk about that real quickly. If 2 characters are in the same clearing, then you can change goods with another player. You can also, if we're on the same clearing with the chamber, I could tell for a trade action, I could tell that other character where the chamber is, for example, and they don't have to search for it anymore. But a lot of times the trade action is going to be used for exchanging. Say I've got a dagger, do you have armor I could use, or something like that. You could trade items back and forth, or even money and items up between players. So they have to be in the same clearing, though. But more often than not, trading is going to be done at a civilization. So, and it's going to be done with these, with the merchants. And in the mountain train pack, we have the scholar to trade with. So when I do a trade action, with the scholar, I'm going to be looking at their wares. So the scholar has 4 treasures, 2 items, and some missions. So that's really going to be how you can get missions in this game, which can give you some objectives to complete for points. So we're going to load that up. 4 missions, 4 treasures, 2 items, and 4 missions. All right, let's grab those. Okay, so when I do a trade action with a merchant, I get to see all of what they've got. And so there we go. That's how you get spells. The merchant's going to have some spells a lot of times. So a spell scroll will have 1 spell. A spell book would have 3 spells. So I can go ahead and just see I'll draw off the spell deck to populate those. So I could buy spells here. You could also, he also has, let's see, the Dust of Destiny, the Tome of Conjuring, so that I can get a blue cube here, some weapons, and then some missions I can take. And I can carry up to 2 missions. Now, during a trade action with a merchant, I can take up to 2 missions, right? So let's say I want these, they're white, are kind of good missions, right? So they can help you be a more of a good, traditional good character. And there are neutral missions, which are usually just kind of pick up and deliver, a lot of times running goods around. They're neutral. And there's also red, black mission, or red, evil missions. So let's say I'm a good warlock and I decide to take these 2, right? So we're going to take these 2 missions. I can also sell goods during a trade action. Let's say I've got that bejeweled shield, right, that I found, and I want to sell it. So I can give it to the merchant for 16 gold. And so I'll just put that into his stack and take the 16 gold and add it to my my backpack over here. And also within the same action, so I can take some missions, I can sell items, I can also try to purchase an item. And so let's go over how that works. Let's say I really want this Tome of Conjuring. Base price for this Tome of Conjuring is 13, but I always have to pay 3 times that price when I'm purchasing from a merchant at the outset. And I can try to haggle him down. So the way haggling works is part of the trade. It's all part of the same trade action. So it's a little action on here, but it can encompass so much, and it's an important part of the game. So when we haggle, we look at what the scholar respects, and he loves brains. He loves intelligent, cunning people. And I can look at my character and know that I picked a very cunning character. So when I roll these haggle dice, I want my worst result to be a 4 or less on a number. I don't want to roll any doors. Door represents the merchant shutting the door on me. But I have to roll my worst result equal to or less than the number of brains symbols that I have. Because that's what the scholar looks for. Now, if he was looking for charisma, which is, or let's say wisdom, which is this symbol right here, I'd have to roll a 2 or less on these, which would be a lot more difficult. But let's say I want to talk him down. The price here is going to be $39 at the outset, 3 times 13. And so if I am successful, I'll talk him down to 2 times the price. And if I'm successful again, I'll talk him down to 1 times the price. So let's try to talk him down to 1 times the price. I'm going to roll these, and I rolled 2 zeros. So that is a success, because 0 is definitely less than 4. So now the going price for this is $26, or 26 gold, sorry. So I want to roll one more time to see if I'm really going to push my luck here and see if I can get it down to 13. and I rolled a door, which means that I am kicked out of the merchant. I can no longer talk to this merchant for the rest of the round. They'll open up their door next round to me. So we'll put this back all back to in here. Let me see. The whole stack goes back. I think I accidentally gave him my Digger's Ruin that was up here. That's okay. In the real game, don't do that. Don't give your things away for free. And so that is a trade action. So with a merchant. Let me also add that one thing you could do while you're trading with the merchant, in addition to your buying, selling, and taking missions, you can also have them repair an armor for you. So, for example, if in combat you have, let me see if I've got, we'll use, even though we can't actually equip it with the warlock, let's say we had a shield that had gotten damaged in battle. We could pay this merchant at a civilization to remove the cube and have it fixed for the stated cost on the card. So I would have to pay 16 gold and have that armor repaired. That's also, that can be done in conjunction with the same trade action where you talk to the merchant. So we've covered trade with player versus player, trade with a merchant. There's also trading. You can complete a mission as a trade action. So let's say I do my giant hunter. I've killed 2 giants, and then I go to the keep. So I fought 2 giants and I've gone to the keep. I would have to take a trade action at the keep. So just one action. And I would be able to discard this and finish this mission. I would be able to claim the legend points and the fame and any additional rewards that this mission grants me. This symbols how many of these dice you get to roll when you can complete a mission. And these all kind of have fame or gold that you might get. Okay, so trading player versus player, trading with a merchant, completing a mission, and the other instance where you would trade, 2 other instances would be to claim a title. So again, back to this Knights of the Knights at the Keep. If I had 40 gold and I've killed 2 monsters that have a value of higher than 10, a fame value higher than 10. Let's, if looking at this, here's a juvenile dragon that has a 10 on it. We want higher than 10 though. Let's say a adult dragon, which has let's say we killed 2 adult dragons. And I've gone and paid 40 gold to the knights as my trade action. I can claim a title. So I would be able, if I'm the first player to do this, I would be able to take 2 legend points and 10 fame and claim the Lord Paramount title. So I would, put a little cube here to say that's taken, so no other player could claim Lord Paramount. And the next character that tries to claim a title would have to be the first knight. So that's how, and so you'd have to use a trade action at the keep to claim that title. And then the last thing you do a trade action for, which is why I said I was kind of glad that I took this curse, is I can use a trade action here to pay 5 gold and remove any curses or permanent spells that I have on me at the time. So I could pay 5 gold and have this curse removed. And if I had 10, if I had more curses, the 5 gold would remove all these curses from me. Or any permanent spells like shapeshift or vapor form or any other permanent spells that you might come across that could get cast upon you in the game, or you might cast upon yourself. So anyway, those are the the reason you would trade, and I'll just kind of list them out one more time. It would be player versus player, trading goods or money or information. It would be trading with a merchant. And when you trade with a merchant, you can take missions. You can buy one item and haggle for it, as we went through the haggling. And you can sell items to the merchant, any number of items, all in one trade action. Then you can claim a title with a group, a native group, the knights in this instance, in the entering Dragons Down scenario. You can also complete a mission if you've met the requirements at the where it's listed on here on the mission card. You use a trade action to do that, and then finally you can trade to remove curses and spells. Okay, I think that's one of the probably biggest actions in the game, honestly, especially when you're dealing with a merchant. It's a lot. So let's see, we've gone through rest, trade, enchant, move, search, loot, learn. Then let's go through alert and sneak. And these are a little more difficult to explain without going directly into combat, which I'm not covering right here, but I'll talk to how it can help you in combat, each of these. So I think they're, and make noise less so. I think these are very important actions that you're going to want to do during the game, especially sneaking. It's recommended that when you're starting, sneaking is an action you do pretty much every round. So let's start with alert, probably a little bit easier, just because if you choose to alert your character, when you go into the battle phase, typically when you are fighting a monster, you have a cube limit of 5 cubes you can play to your weapon, which I've lost my dagger. I had a dagger. 5 cubes that you can play to your either weapon or spell that you're powering, and then your these speed cubes for attack and maneuver, which I can cover at a different time, or just watch one of my playthroughs to see how I use them. So five cube limit, but alert lets you do 2 real main things. First off, it allows you to rearrange your possessions. So you can unequip items, you can equip items that you have in your backpack. You can just kind of move things around, which you typically can't do otherwise. So you have to use an alert action to do that. It also, at the same time, in the same alert action, will give you an extra speed cube that you can play during combat. So you are then allowed to go from 5 cubes to 6 cubes played in a combat round, which is pretty key for combat. It can help you. It can give you that 1 extra attack speed to be able to hit a character that's been eluding you, or 1 extra maneuver to play to your defense, or and cast some more powerful spells faster, for example, or swing your sword faster. So I think that's going to be good for when you're looking to play, gearing up for a battle that you know is coming. The other, so then let's go into sneak. So yeah, so alert, rearrange your possessions, gives you an extra cube to play during combat if you're expecting to fight somebody that round. So let's go into then sneak and make noise. So sneak's going to be important because it lets you be a little more elusive and keeps you hidden from monsters. And I will go ahead and demonstrate quickly what sneak actually does. So let's read it. It says, ignore 1 icon on hide die rolls except during combat. So let's say I'm here. We have I'm not going to go over monster summoning or anything like that, but we'll have that adult dragon has landed on me, and prior to this guy summoning on me, I snuck. I chose this action during my action phase, and so then in the combat phase, the battle phase, this monster has summoned and landed on me. Now, what I have to do when that happens is monsters that land on you like that are always going to try to attack you or block you. And these are the hide die to see whether or not you can stay hidden from this monster. And you're always going to roll both of them when you do a hide check. And if you don't hide, the only way, if you don't sneak, if you don't choose that action, the only way you can stay hidden is if you roll 2 blank faces. And there are, I think, 4 blank faces. So that's, you've got pretty good odds of staying hidden, but not great. So it's a 33% chance on each die that you will be revealed. But if you sneak, you are successfully hidden if only 1 comes up blank, and you can ignore 1 failure. So that would be a successful hide roll if you sneak. If I had not snuck, I would be revealed and I would have to fight this adult dragon. He will attack me and we'll go enter combat automatically. If I roll this, I am revealed either way. But there are pretty good odds. I think it's about almost 90% of passing a hide check if you sneak. And that's what that does. It helps you just remain hidden from enemies. So it actually does not do anything. It's not an actual action that you do, but it helps you prepare for the battle phase. Both of these help you prepare for the battle phase. This one does have the advantage where you're rearranging everything on the board. And what this means, except during combat, when you make a ranged attack, an ambush attack, or a spell from being hidden in combat, you have to roll these hide dice to see if you're still hidden. This just means that the sneak does not impact that. So if you do an ambush check, you have to roll 2 blanks, no matter if you've snuck or not. That's what this language means. And also, let me cover, make noise is you cannot sneak and make noise in the same round. So say instead of sneaking, you choose to make noise. And the reason you might want to do this is if you're on a mission, you're looking for giants and you're on a tile that could summon giants, and you're trying to get giants to come to that tile. Or you're just looking to go kill a bunch of monsters. For whatever reason, you want to bring more monsters out onto the tile you're on and into your clearing. So what you would do is after monster activation, you could re-roll summoning dice for the hero's clearing. So without going into the summoning, the whole summoning process, basically this means that you're just going to re-roll these dice an extra time, and will accept the results of more monsters coming out only for this player's tile. You would not, or in clearing, you would not activate it for any other hero's clearing. And so you're trying to bring more monsters out onto the board to you. And that's what make noise is. So anyway, I hope that gives a good overview of all the actions you can do. And these all take place in the action phase of a round in Dragons Down. And again, spells and things like that all happen during the battle or the combat phase that happens after that in the round. So I hope that helps. I know that's a little bit long-winded, but I think that that should cover everything in the game. I hope you've enjoyed that, and let me know if I can clarify anything in any comments. But thank you for watching.